found out about chemtrails or aerosol spraying from Andrew Johnson about 3 years or so ago, and I've been looking into it in great depth ever since. It's the most mind-boggling subject you can ever come across. You know, there's so many facets to it, there's so much mysticism to it, and the digger you deep, the more you find out. So obviously we need to condense what I found out into a couple of hours today. So first hour we're going to have some video clips about various aspects. We'll be looking at who's actually doing it, why are they doing it, what aspects of humans are being involved within it, and what friends we've got to help us combat it. And then in part two, I'm hoping I can get some volunteers here, we'll be looking to test the audience to see whether you've been exposed to chemtrails. And that is the most frightening aspect of it. We could be looking at the invasion of the body snatchers. We could be a population that is going to be genetically modified. The evidence will be there for you to see today with your own eyes. See, most people seem to think that you know, it's passenger planes and military planes that are spraying these chemtrails upon us. But you need to look at it realistically. If it was passenger planes, then you'd have to involve pilots, you'd have to involve staff who are delivering the chemtrails to the airport, loading them onto the planes, transporting them, manufacturing them, mixing it with the jet fuel, where you can have damage to the engines. In my view, the passenger planes are not involved at all. So then you ask yourself, well, what does that leave? You've got military planes. These chemtrails are being sprayed over the entire planet with a few exceptions. You know, where I live, it's 4 or 5 days a week, sometimes it's 7 days a week. So to cover, I mean, I've just come back off holiday to, you know, to the Canaries. I've been to all the Canaries, they're all sprayed. I've been to Mallorca this year, they're sprayed. Lanzarote in January, that was sprayed. Been on cruises, everywhere I go I'm seeing this sprayed. The whole planet would appear to be sprayed. Now, in my view, there's not enough military planes to actually do this. So something else is involved. And I think there are either reverse engineered alien craft or actually aliens themselves. There could be some, you know, aliens who are wanting to take us over. And humans are powerless altogether. Maybe that's why the powers that be are unable to do anything, because they're not doing it. Who knows? But there is actually quite a bit of videos that are available which would evidence the fact that, you know, planes are involved. It's something other than that. I'm just going to run a clip with you now where we can actually see that it would appear to be either no plane or a hologram type plane. This is a short clip here from the Truther Girls. I don't know if anybody actually goes on the internet and listens to the Truther Girls. Does anybody remember Star Trek? The Klingons had a cloaking device so you couldn't actually see it. Well, this is a very short clip from the Truther Girls.
If you think you're seeing chemtrails with no planes in front of them, no, you're not delusional. It's really happening. I just filmed like 3 or 4 of them. They're cloaked. So obviously it's not a normal plane. To all you naysayers, you know, passenger planes are not invisible, right?
close attention to that, you'd see that we've got chemtrails, but there's no plane. So what's going on there? Something's obviously making the chemtrail, but they don't want us to see it. So in that case, we've got, you know, something that's cloaked. I think we've got a second scenario where we've got chemtrails and what appears to be a plane that's making it, but it's not a real plane. So just take a look at a short video where the evidence of that. I'm not going to play all this one, I'll just play some of it, just to get the gist of it. We haven't got enough time. Looked at that video there, you'd see the tail of the plane was changing its shape. Well, that doesn't happen in real planes. So it would appear we've got totally invisible chemtrail producers and ones that are holograms that are producing the chemtrails. But in both cases, whatever's there, we don't actually get to see it. Which would say to me that either it's got to be aliens or reverse engineered alien technology that's producing it. And it may well be outside the control of humans altogether, which may explain why, you know, it's not getting any presentation. If you could imagine that our government was an honest government, or all governments were honest governments, and these chemtrails were going on, and they were responsible for it, what are they going to say? You know, what could they say?
Lawrence, on Radio 4 a couple of weeks ago, there was a disinformation program about chemtrails, and they blamed something on EasyJet, and I heard it myself.
Yeah.
So I think there's a disinformation program, which strongly suggests to me that it's a military operation.
Yeah, but that wouldn't explain these holographic planes and where there's, you know, you're getting chemtrails with nothing in front of it. You know, it's beyond explanation.
It shows the hologram plane.
Yeah, earlier on he did, yeah. He did earlier on, yeah. I could play the whole thing for you, but for the sake of it'll be a short time. You know, there's loads of stuff on there that you can actually go and see for yourself. You know, if you go on the, I mean, think about it. You've got a total media blackout with chemtrails. And who's the most popular person on TV at the moment? Go on.
Cloaked.
Who's the next most popular? On the same bench. Who sits next to Simon? Cheryl Cole. Okay. So if you go to Google Video or YouTube and you type in Cheryl Cole, somebody give me a guess how many videos there are for Cheryl Cole. Come on, give me your best guess. Somebody. Videos, actual videos. There's actually just over 200,000. And if you type in chemtrails for the same thing, how many chemtrails videos do you reckon there are? Exactly the same, to within a couple of thousand. Both have got over 200,000 videos. And yet Cheryl Cole's plastered over every magazine that you see. And yet you see nothing, you know, overtly for chemtrails. But the problem is, if you all the magazines that you buy, they're plastered with chemtrails. But it's subliminal. What's happening is the powers that be are trying to normalise chemtrails. This is happening big time. It was on the football results on Saturday. Anybody watch the football results? You have a big square box, and you've got all the results coming up, and then behind it you've got a sky laden with chemtrails. And then we have Robert Peston on, the guy who talks about finance. He was doing a presentation about a week ago, 10 days ago, but you didn't see his face. All you saw was a picture of a jet flying across a cityscape with a chemtrail coming out the back and then going back the other way. This was going on for about 5 minutes. And you think, what's going on here? Now, I couldn't actually save the video, but I went on to BBC's news site and I got a snapshot of the picture. And this is what I saw. There we go, this is BBC News. Okay, see this jet plane here? See that plane? It went from left to right, right to left, and it did that about 40 times while Robert Peston told us why the banks were going tits up.
Did the trail stay there?
The trail stayed there, yeah. When that jet plane got to the other side, the trail was all the way there.
This was another one.
Well, it was another one coming the other way back. It might have been that one turning round, who knows? But that was going on for a good few minutes while Robert Peston was telling us why the banks were going belly up.
But Robert Peston is common purpose.
It is.
He's working his way to Illuminati.
It is. Okay, well, obviously, chemtrails are in everything now. They're in cartoons, they're in magazines,
Adverts.
they're in adverts.
They also have there.
And they're doing it big time. Now, does anybody ever watch Country File?
Yeah.
You watch the start of that sometimes, and they'll introduce the show in the countryside, and there's always chemtrails in the background. Well, every year they have a photography competition, and this year they've got 60,000 entries. So, what do you reckon the chances of getting a chemtrail in one of the photos is? This is Country File magazine. I can pass it round. The second photo down. Pass that around. Just pass it all the way around. That is one of the winners. Now that actual photograph is going to be looked at by millions of people. And I'll tell you why. Because that is going to be in the official Children in Need calendar. So that is normalising chemtrails, making people think that it's a normal facet.
Down my window.
For those of you that haven't seen that, let me show you. There we go. Country File photo in 2010. You all see that one? Just want to dim the light so you can have a look at that. Yeah? That's going to be on people's walls. I don't know what day, what month of the year it is, but that is going in the Children in Need calendar. Yeah? So somebody at the BBC has made sure that that is one of the winners. But it's not just this year, you know. This has been happening in previous years. So I had a look at last year's and the year before's. There we go, there's one from last year. You know, there's a chemtrail there, and we've got a sky that isn't exactly blue, and we've got this web. That was one of last year's. In fact, in all the photographs that they have, not one of them depicts a clear blue sky.
Is that a cobweb or is it polymers out of the spray?
Well, it could be either. And then, here we are, Country File winner 2007. Yeah, we've got a little baby lamb jumping up, look at the background. You know, so this is endemic. They're trying to normalise it, they're trying to make people believe that this is the way sky should be.
Can you tell us what a normal aircraft trail then would be? That would just dissipate, would it? So this is
The only thing, a regular contrail will dissipate, you know, in less than a minute. So you'll see it, you'll have a trail that will stay the same length because it's constantly getting shorter.
There's nothing to do with the altitude or...
No, you're not going to get them below 30,000 feet. It needs to be cold, and ideally you need dry air. And then you obviously the condensation is frozen water, which then dissipates. Anyway, in America, just going through my photographs, you know, people are actually taking more action than what appears to be happening over here. So he's got his truck. Those aren't clouds. Call your representatives. Stop chemtrails. We can actually get bumper stickers over here. I've actually had some calendars printed if anybody wants to buy one. I'm only selling them at cost, but if you work somewhere where it can be on public display, then maybe it will get a few people thinking.